guys, it's Karen and we're in my living room again, as you can see, but I've got myself a seat because my back was really sore last time. I'm redoing my vanity room so that I can hopefully have the camera with light behind it, although there's not an awful light comes from the window, but I think it's worthwhile. Today is really, really dark outside, so I have got my ring light on, but I still think this is more flattering than where I sit with no natural light at all. Today we're talking about the Copper Amino Isolate Lipid. I have been waiting for this to come out because I got a little bit of a tester put on my hand at the DECIEM event. So I knew that it felt lovely and I knew that I'd want it when it came out. I will show you me applying it rather than putting it on my hand because that will be better for you. It's a lovely sort of blue oily gel. That's exactly what it is. It feels really, really smoothing on the skin. It feels very nourishing. It doesn't feel like any standard oil, you know, it doesn't feel like you're putting an oil on your face. It doesn't feel, I don't think, greasy. I really like the feel on my skin. I think it's lovely. I've got my notes in case you see me looking down. This is very pricey. It's £70, although annoyingly I bought it for £70 and then literally 2 days later the Black Friday sale was up, which I'm never aware of when sales are happening, and I really should be because that would save a lot of money. So hopefully I will get this up because the Black Friday sale on DECIEM, they've got 23% off until the end of November, making this £53, I think. £54 that should be, shouldn't it? Anyway, a lot less than it is, and I would highly recommend if you want to buy it, then do it before the end of November. The ingredients in this, of course, there is the copper peptide, but this time it's a copper peptide with a palmitate group on it, which makes it palmitoyl copper tripeptide 1 or GHKCU palmitoyl. That means that it is fat soluble and that's good for the skin. In addition to the copper peptide, there's some other lovely ingredients in here, such as squalane. There's a new way of using vetiver, I think is how you say it. It's a plant that has been used for essential oils. There is some blue-green algae, a new type, I believe. So there's lots of other kind of innovative, interesting ingredients in. The other ingredients I'm not really talking about whether there's research behind them because from my brief look at them, there's not, but we all know that squalane is a lovely ingredient and is very moisturising, etc. But you know, the main point of this is for the copper peptide. The claims on the DECIEM site are that it is pro-collagen, that it reduces the appearance of wrinkles, that it improves elasticity and firmness, it has a plumping effect, it overall improves the overall health of the skin, smooths the skin and gives the skin a youthful, younger appearance. The advice from DECIEM on how to use this is that it's to be used at night. I think that's because of how oily it is. You know, it's perhaps not something you'd want to use in the morning, and that it should be used alone or as part of the NIOD core regime. But I don't know whether they mean alone as in don't put anything on top of it or underneath it, because they then go on to say you could use this followed by the MMHC. So I think it just means this isn't something that you put a little bit in with something else. You use it as a standalone product. The way that I've been using it is purely on its own on my neck. I've used it a couple of times on my face just to see how it feels, but I'm mostly going to use it on my neck because it's only a small tube, it's 15 ml. They do say, I read, I don't know if it was on their Facebook page, but they say that there should be 193 uses from this. Now, you guys know I'm somebody that overuses product anyway, and you know, you can judge for yourself when I show you the video of me applying it as to whether I use too much. I probably do, but even if you halved what I was using, I don't feel like it would be 193 uses, especially if you want to use it on your face and neck, which I'd imagine you would. If you're looking for something that's anti-aging and smoothing and plumping, then we want to apply that to our neck as well. When they said that, they were saying that a tiny little bit goes a long way, but I don't find that. I have found products like that from NIOD, such as the fractionated eye contour concentrate. You need the tiniest drop of that and you can, you know, very easily spread it over your eyes. With this, I didn't find that to be the case. I did feel like I needed to use, you know, I'd start off with a tiny bit. It wasn't enough. I could, you know, I would put it just here and then sort of rub it in. And I was like, nope, it's not going to go up and down. I need a little bit more and a little bit more, etc., etc. You shouldn't use this with any direct acids, any strong antioxidants, so vitamin C's, no retinols, no retinoids, that kind of thing. There's quite there's quite a few things you shouldn't use this with. So regarding the evidence, I've got my iPad here because there's a couple of studies that I want to tell you about. There is some evidence behind the copper peptide. So there was a study with 20 participants to compare GHK-Cu. Now this is not the lipid version, this is just the copper tripeptide 1, to compare it with tretinoin, vitamin C and melatonin. 10 subjects received tretinoin and vitamin C creams on the surface of their right and left thighs. The other 10 received the copper and melatonin. This happened for 1 month, and it says significant improvement in all visual evaluations of skin condition was found within the first 2 weeks for both products. Skin viscoelastic properties significantly improved. So that shows that they are about the same. So the copper peptide was as good as tretinoin. Bearing in mind though, with tretinoin, you need to wait a bit of a longer time to see the effect. So it may be if you then looked at 6 months a comparison and a year a comparison, tretinoin may well do better. There was another study that was a 12-week placebo-controlled study, so that's good, although it wasn't blind, on facial skin of 71 women with mild to advanced aging, photo damage. By week 1, the active cream delivered significant improvement in skin laxity, clarity, and overall appearance when compared with the placebo. Significant improvement in fine lines was noted at week 2 and in wrinkles at week 4. Improved viscoelastic properties were consistent with ultrasound increase in overall skin density and thickness. No adverse objective or subjective. There was no irritation from this at all found. There was another one that was a double-blind placebo-controlled study. That's exactly what we want. And it had only 67 people though, but still. This is again versus placebo, so it's not comparing it to tretinoin or anything, it's just comparing it to using a normal moisturiser or something like that. That showed improved skin laxity, clarity and appearance, and reduced fine lines, coarse wrinkles, and also reduced hyperpigmentation and increased skin density and thickness. So there is some evidence, as you can see, from actual people being used. So in vivo research, there's a lot of in vitro research, so done in the lab on human skin, showing the actions of the copper tripeptide, so that it is pro-collagen. It does support the synthesis of collagen, showing that it is anti-inflammatory, showing that it's wound healing. It's been known to be wound healing for a long time. But like I said, this is on the copper tripeptide, not the copper tripeptide lipid formula that we're using today, but it's still a copper peptide. I can't find any research on this lipid formula. So how does this compare to the other copper peptide options available from DECIEM? Firstly, there is the Copper Amino Isolate Serum that we all know. It's now on version 2. That is a 1%. That's actually a 1% plus 1%, which I would say go and read the description, because they do explain that one quite well. I find sometimes there's too much technical information, but that one is explained pretty well how it's broken down. But they've got 2 different types of copper in the Copper Amino Isolate Serum from NIOD. Whereas this one has got 1%, but it is a lipid formula, a fat-soluble formula. Then you've got the ordinary buffet plus copper. That one has copper tripeptide 1% also. So they've all got a 1% of the GHK-Cu. The buffet plus copper is a 1% of GHK-Cu. The Copper Amino Isolate Serum from NIOD is a 1% GHK-Cu plus some other copper. And then this one is a 1% GHK-Cu palmitoyl type. So if you don't want to spend the money on this one, you could buy the ordinary buffet plus copper or the Copper Amino Isolate Serum. The Copper Amino Isolate Serum is £38 from NIOD, but it'll be reduced at the moment with their discount. And the buffet plus copper is £28.90, so that one is about £10 cheaper, but again that will be on sale as well. All of the research is done in the serums, so that's something worth thinking about. I think that this formula feels nicer. I've tried the buffet plus copper, and I've also tried the Copper Amino Isolate Serum, and I think this one feels the nicest. It's definitely the most nourishing. It's got the squalane in it as well, and so it's the nicest feeling formula in my opinion. I did do a 6-week study, if you like, on myself on the Copper Amino Isolate Serum, and I didn't really see any results from that in terms of aging. I will link the videos that I've done. I did one on the Copper Amino Isolate Serum, kind of first impressions, then I did a 6-week catch-up. So I'll link the 6-week catch-up. I haven't watched the 6-week one, but the one on the Copper Amino Isolate, I ramble through a lot of it. I don't start the review until way into it, and I just think I kind of want to take it down, but there is some useful information in there. Hopefully the 6-week one is a bit better, and I know I'm showing before and after photos in that one. I didn't find any difference, like I said, in terms of aging. I did find, however, and that's what I talk about in the first video a lot, that I had a massive lump, an acne lump that was very painful, and I used the Copper Amino Isolate Serum on it, and it, like, overnight went down. It took the inflammation down. Interestingly, DCM, I can't remember if it was on Facebook or on their website, was saying that this is absolutely fine for people with oily, blemish-prone skin. So this lipid formula is absolutely fine for you, but that this is not targeted to people with acne. But I found that was a definite cystic acne lump. It worked wonders on it. It really helped it heal a lot quicker than usual. Because this is so expensive, I thought I would just use it on my neck. Like I said, I've used it on my face a couple of times just to see how it worked out, but I want to use it on my neck because that's an area I'm trying to focus on. I'm always focusing on, like, my hooded eyes, etc. But when I used this right up to and around my eyes, which it specifically DCM have said you can do, I got what I always get when I use an oil. My eyes were watering the following day, so that's not something I want to do. You know, I put it around here, not right on my lid. I just put it kind of under my brow, and the following days my eyes were streaming. So that's not for me, definitely. So there's nothing else really in this part of my face that I would be desperate to work on, but I know that my neck needs work, so I thought I'll use the whole tube on my neck, and then I'll take a picture, however long it lasts me. I've had it, I think I've only had it a week, and I've used a ton of it. It's probably going to last me a month, I would say. I'm tempted to order another one, just because it's so, there's such a big discount on it at the moment. I can't smell anything at all in this. There's an extremely faint smell, but it's nothing that I can put my finger on. It's not a horrible smell. I've heard people describe it as being a bit of a peppery smell. So not one of those, it seems, with a bad smell. There's not many reviews of this at all. I found one blog talking about it and one YouTube video. The YouTube video was a science guy talking about it, saying that it was, you know, a great ingredient, but as I've said, he said you could buy the buffet, and that's the one that's got the kind of evidence behind it. There's really no need to buy the lipid formula just yet, although it does feel nice. One thing I would say about my neck is I will of course take photos, and that will be my deciding factor as to whether it's done anything. But you guys know I have a problem with self-tan. Not sitting in the lines, but where I've got these lines on my neck, if I put a self-tan on at night now, which I used to always do, it was always something I did at night, and then I sleep, you know, obviously with my neck like that, there's then white lines, and you can see that I've got I've had a self-tan on, but there's no self-tan in the lines. So anyway, what I've been doing is putting self-tan on during the day. I've been putting it on in the morning, not bothering with makeup, so that I'm walking around with my head up and I don't then get those white lines. But it's not foolproof. I have still noticed in videos that I can see white lines in it, or it looks a bit patchy. Now, I used a self-tan yesterday during the day, but it was a new one. It was the Tan Luxe Wonder Oil that I used. So it could well be just a really good tan. But I've noticed that it doesn't look, there's no white lines at all. And see, touching my neck, it feels really, really smooth. And even I can see in like pictures of myself, I can see that the skin doesn't look quite so crepey, and that has never changed for quite some time, despite me using the things that I love, like the, I used neck elasticity catalyst for a long time, and that didn't really make a difference. Overall, it felt lovely and smooth, but you couldn't actually see the difference in photos. I've been using the hydration vaccine, not a lot, but I have used that, and again, that doesn't give any instant results. It feels lovely, but you can see in pictures that it's still, the skin is still dry and, like I said, kind of crepey. Actually, somebody commented and said that my neck was looking nicer now. That was only one day after using it, so I don't know whether it's that good, whether that was just a good lighting day or what happened there. But yeah, so far I'm loving it. I think I might well go and buy another one of these. And the only reason for me to buy this one is because it's on sale. So it's £50 versus, I suppose it's double the price of the Buffet Plus Copper and the Copper Amino Isolate Serum, but I didn't enjoy using those. I thought they had an odd smell. The Buffet Plus Copper to me smelled a bit vinegary and wasn't the nicest to use, whereas this is really, really lovely to use. So once I'm finished this, or before the end of November, I am going to take photos and compare them and see if I want to buy another tube, because there's a really good discount just now. And the reason I would buy this over the other two serums is literally because I enjoy using this, and those I didn't. I remember that the Buffet Plus Copper had a strange vinegary smell to me, which I didn't like at all. And the Copper Amino Isolate Serum was just okay, you know, it was nice enough, but it wasn't something that felt luxury and didn't make my skin feel lovely and soft like this is. And so I really enjoy this. So to me, it's worth the extra money, but only while it's on sale. I don't think I would buy this again for £70. I mean, unless I see a massive miracle difference, then I'll definitely buy it. That's everything for today. I hope that that was informative. Let me know if you are going to buy it, if you're going to buy it in the sale. Would you buy it again? Yeah, anybody that's already started using this, it'd be really interesting to know your opinion, because like I said, there aren't many reviews out there, and it's always good to get a sort of wide variety of opinions, I think. Makeup today, I have got on the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation, the moisturising version in Dune. On my eyes is the Too Faced, what is it called? Natural Eye Palette. I've got it right here. This one. Too Faced Natural Matte palette. I used the colours in there. And on my lips, I've got the Stila liquid lipstick in Palermo. Loving this colour just now. And on my cheeks is the Nars blush in Sin. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.